Hello and welcome to the semi-finals of the World Championships 2018 for Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm here with Jerome McHale and Robert Boyachin. How you doing, guys?
I'm doing good.
I'm excited for these finals.
Yeah, we kind of had a pretty exciting day yesterday, full of twists and turns. Now we're down to just 4 duelists.
Yep, 4 duelists, 4 different decks. First time that's ever happened in a World Championship top 4. I can't be more excited.
And we got a really great match for you coming up here for the first one.
Yeah. Before the match, though, as you can see, we're in this wonderful venue, very much different from where we were yesterday. Nobody's here yet, but they will be during the finals. Hopefully, it should be full of people. So that's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah, it is going to be great. This place is way bigger than it was last year.
Oh, yeah?
If you tuned into our broadcast last year, you know, it was packed. It was wild and crazy the entire time. And I think it's going to be even better this year.
That's awesome. I've been really looking forward to seeing they've got the banging things. I actually have no idea what they're called. Thundersticks.
Thundersticks.
Bunch of Konami Thundersticks. I'm a big fan of those.
Now the red and blue side. So basically they got it divided up. You can see on the stage behind us that it's divided onto the red side or the blue side, and you can pick who to cheer for and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you can pick the Thundersticks based on that as well, because we got red and blue ones.
But we've got picks as well, do we not? So the last 4 decks are Trickstar versus Sky Striker, which is going to be our match for you here, and then Altergeist versus Goki.
Yeah.
So Luke, you take a more data-driven approach to this.
Yeah, exactly. So the player with the deck with the highest win rate is actually out now. He didn't quite make it, but that in itself says something. That not all of the decks have, there's not like one real big standout deck in terms of statistics. But as far as the stats are concerned, the pure Trickstar player that we still have left is sitting on a 66% win rate, which is pretty awesome. That's a huge win rate, but small amount of games, so it could change very rapidly. And that is swiftly followed by Sky Striker on 55, Altergeist 53, and then Goki on 48. That's a big shocker.
That is pretty shocking for what people consider to be the front runner for the entire tournament.
Yeah, exactly. But that can never account for like the number of players that are playing it. So there are a lot of Goki decks, which means that win rate may have been brought down by the players who weren't necessarily more experienced or might have done a strange build or something like that. But still, yeah, it shows that the Sky Striker win rate is actually very more accurate than the rest with 55. So that's got to be a good shout for the tournament.
And it doesn't help Goki that everybody's gunning for them.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. Yeah, I think we've seen and we talked a lot about that. All the decks have been really teching for Goki.
Yeah, all 3 of the other decks in the top 4 are designed to beat Goki.
Yes.
And it's really going to come down to which of these decks are proactive enough to sort of survive and have the best matchup against these other strategies.
Yes.
Yeah. And as Luke said right now, I think we're all thinking it might be this Trickstar deck.
Yeah.
As much as I like the Sky Striker deck and I was boasting about it yesterday, this has to be the worst matchup left in the tournament. Yeah.
So speaking of this, the Trickstar deck, it's what we have coming up for you just now, and we've been talking about it, and we think it's pretty tough matchup for the Sky Striker player.
And it's a well-built deck too. It uses many of the things that we were thinking were going to be big cards coming into this tournament. Stuff like Cyber Dragon, Eater of Millions, and just it's about as many hand traps as you can pack.
Yeah.
Both the regular monster type and the actual literal trap type.
Yeah. And the thing is that the Sky Striker deck had Trickstar added to it, specifically in the TCG, was really, really kind of, a lot of people playing that. The reason for that is that it plugged a weakness of the Sky Striker cards being able to not really push out all that much damage. Whereas Trickstar, the pure Trickstar deck has taken a different approach to plug those weaknesses, have been able to deal with, established boards and big monsters with Eater of Millions and Cyber Dragon. So, he's managed to plug his weaknesses, but we're going to see whether he's going to be able to really exploit the weaknesses of the Sky Striker deck in this matchup.
Yeah, I think the big thing about the Trickstar deck is that it's the only one that can afford to play this many hand traps this far in the tournament. Yeah. It's loaded 16 into its main deck, 16 hand traps. And the only reason it can do that is because a single Candina, Light Stage, or Terraforming can get the whole engine going alone.
And that's what? Did think about something like 7 copies of that between Terraforming, Candina, and the Light Stage?
7 total copies, and then he has a couple Pod Desires. I'm sure Scapegoats is sort of like a starter too, even though it's slow, because you'll just Saryuja, draw into one of those.
Yeah. So if you put all that together, you're probably adding up to 80% or more of having some kind of action on your first turn.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we should emphasize what you said there, Robert. That like just the 1 card engine starters is always going to be amazing.
Yeah.
If you can get to those.
So Trickstar, Sky Striker, together they're great. But now they have to face off against each other to make the finals of the World Championship.
So I think we're going to head on over to the match and see what happens. Any second now. So here we are. Wang Chia-ching from Taiwan versus Young Sung Chul from Korea. Now, both of these guys on this huge stage, they got to keep their calm and just play the best they've ever played.
Now, we've seen Jung in action before, have we not?
Yeah, we did.
Quite well.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just like a great Yu-Gi-Oh player should be. Animated at the times where he knew exactly what he was doing, and stoic, really taking his time to think whenever he needed to.
Oh, and it was our first match of the day.
Yeah, it was against Paleozoic. Yeah, we just saw him completely dismantle the strategy thanks to main deck copies of Evenly Match and just having a bunch of back row removal.
So Jing gets to go first, and he starts with some pretty good gas. A light stage into Candina into Reincarnation.
Yeah, that's usually not a good sign. When they're searching Reincarnation, that's likely they already have Lycoris, and they might even have Droll and Lockbird. And against Sky Striker, you know how good Droll and Lockbird is even without Reincarnation. So just the fact that you will always have a chance to combo it off and basically empty Jung's hand.
Yeah, which is never a good
scary. Yeah, but luckily, because Jung knows he can probably play around a little bit and set all of his cards first. Yes. But that also walks into light stage if he ends up not using all of his resources that turn.
Yeah, that is the trap. Light stage, just being able to, pick off those cards one by one. Fortunately, if it's his own turn and it's stuff like Engage, he can set it and then flip it.
Yeah.
But when you got stuff like Widow Anchor, you might have to preemptively use it, and they chain Lycoris, and then bad things happen.
Yeah. It's really a well-built strategy with the Trickstar deck.
And that's, assuming he gets past whatever pile of hand traps that might be lurking.
You're right, yeah. This is probably the deck that Droll and Lockbird is the best against, Sky Striker.
Yes.
So that's pretty rough that out of all the duels, we didn't see many copies in the main deck, if at all. And I think that Wang Chia-ching is one of the few who has access to that.
Just two?
Yep.
All right, 2 sets finishes off his turn, and now Young is up.
So he almost certainly knows that one of those back row cards is Reincarnation. But the other one could be a mystery, could be anything.
Starts with Twin Twister on
both. Well, that's a pretty good start.
Not bad. Not
yeah,
bad
one
at
of the
all.
best ways to get around the Reincarnation Droll and Lockbird combo, that's for sure. And it looks like he discarded a copy of a Hercules base.
It does look like Hercules base. He goes ahead and chains it. The Reincarnation.
Jung responds, I have nothing there.
And he loses a copy of Ray.
That's a little rough.
I saw multiple trap cards being drawn by Young there.
And goes and match is gone. And now damage is dealt.
Yeah, so
he's going to get you for 2 and light stage for another 2.
Yeah, even if you're gonna play through your Sky Striker combos here, Candina and Lycoris are just gonna continue to take away your life points.
My goodness,
slowly but surely.
And he put the hand out there. I don't know that that's that was a pass.
Wow.
And on the end phase, Lycoris hits the field, and I don't know if Young is long for this game.
No, probably not.
An open field against Trickstar is not preferable.
Yeah, when I was talking to the duelist yesterday about the pure Sky Striker deck and the pros and cons to it, the biggest issue a lot of players had with it was its lack of consistency. It just doesn't have as many starter cards as some of these other decks do, specifically Altergeist. So, and I think we just saw this huge glaring weakness with the deck.
Yes.
Getting hit by that Reincarnation, losing at least Ray and maybe another starter card or two. That's just a little too rough.
And the important thing is that the Trickstars can really assault that weak point and just deal a ton of damage whenever there is one.
Young got the Ash Blossom to basically keep himself in the game right now, barring more copies of Lycoris. Blocking Candina takes a lot of damage off the board. Now he's still got Reincarnation in the graveyard right there. Young has to, he really has to dig in hard right now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not playing anything like Scapegoat, is he?
No, he's not. He has a couple main deck copies of Shared Ride sort of in that slot, but no Scapegoats. So no big card that can really get him back in it.
I think Young just drew Ghost Bell, which is not going to get him too far.
And he's not running Diabolos either, which would be a card that Trickstar has a very hard time dealing with.
Yeah. He probably didn't expect much other Sky Striker in the tournament, seeing how popular Altergeist and Goki were.
Yeah, so there's one of the trap cards that we saw him draw last turn, which wasn't all that useful, which is evenly matched.
Evenly matched.
It's solid here, but he's still so far behind that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
If my spot was correct and he drew Ghost Bell, then there's not much more to be done this turn than there was last turn.
He might just end up setting it, to be honest. Just walk out.
I do believe it is bigger than Candina.
I think they're both at 18, right?
18, yes.
Yeah. And that also causes some more damage off of Candina.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to set a back row and set a monster.
Yeah.
Not the best position. On Ching's side, he has a Ghost Bell, a Ash Blossom, and it looks like he drew another hand trap.
That looks like a Ghost Bell.
2 copies of Ghost Bell? I saw at least 1 Ghost Bell and 1 Ash before his draw phase.
Okay. And he checks to see his face-up cards to see if he can get kind of a read on what that face-down monster might be.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that the monster actually won't be destroyed by battle, because if Jung draws something like Engage, he won't even be able to use it because he has a monster occupying that main zone.
But he kind of has to do it because otherwise he'd get.
Yeah.
Well, you know it's not a copy of Ray because otherwise he would have done something with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Ching's got to be thinking, well, that has to be one of his hand trap monsters.
Yes. Looks like he's considering, he's going to normal something that maybe he's going to go for Cerberus here. Clear it away and just press for damage.
Interesting. I guess that works really well because he has the reincarnation in his graveyard. And that can just bring Candina back.
Oh yeah, that's probably just, depending on the back row, right, this could just be game. And oh, no, but Cerberus can't destroy it, right, because it's not supposed to be a monster, so he has to get rid of Phoenix.
An interesting fact here that Ching has actually only played 1 Sky Striker so far during this tournament. He lost.
Interesting.
I wonder if they played each other.
That could be a case of revenge. So yes, it was the double Ghost Bell. Takes out Twin Twister, attacks, takes out another Ghost Bell, and then banishes Reincarnation. There's Candina. Candina hits. Does he have another Lycoris? I don't think so.
No, I think the last card's still that hand trap. I think it's Ash Blossom.
It's Ash, yeah.
It's just really rough. Even Engage.
Yeah, Engage doesn't get you there. I don't know what gets you there.
He's
picked up jamming waves. Yeah. That certainly doesn't.
No.
He has 3 spells, so he could. Oh, actually, no. That doesn't even do enough.
Target.
I think you destroy your own card with jamming waves. The first part.
I would have to check the text on it.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe he could set his own card and then jamming waves it, but even then, both of those monsters have enough attack to just clear them out.
Yeah. And he still takes damage from using it.
Yeah.
Text Strike with Candina, and that's
game
it.
1.
And that's interesting. He flipped the cards and showed them.
Oh, that's...
I don't know that I'd do that.
No. But that means that Trickstar is up 1, so that's very different from what our statistics are showing about this deck.
Yeah, it could just
only
have
been 1 game.
Yeah.
Though.
With 1 game, anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Much greater pool of data before you can draw any meaningful conclusions.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at least from what we've done in the office and just general
opinion
not opinion, but what's actually happened.
Results.
Is that Trickstar cards are just really good against Sky Striker cards.
Yeah. They just do about everything you want to do. They're a huge card advantage huge card advantage engine, and it disrupts you by it gains tempo whenever you search cards because you're taking so much damage, right? So they don't really have to press for game. They can poke, and then during your turn, you're still just burning yourself down. Yeah, so it's pretty rough.
It's just you get to a point where there's a limit to how much you can actually do without losing the game.
Yep. Yeah. We spoke about this before, just before we went live, that just everything that Sky Striker do, it burns them against Trickstar.
Yes. And sometimes it would double burn them. Like if you have Candina and Lycoris, and you play Engage, you're getting it from both.
Yep.
And even more, if you have 3 spells, you're going to get that extra 200.
Yep.
So it's really not that easy.
No. So what do you think that Young is going to need here to really help him in this matchup? Has he got anything in his side deck that's going to make all that difference?
I mean, it's pretty rough. What he would want traditionally in this matchup is probably trap cards, right? Yeah. Like he'd want Psalms and things like that to stop the Candina chain, because that's the big way you're going to battle this deck.
You have to keep her off the field.
Yeah, or negate it, right? But even if you negate its effect with something like Ash or Effect Veiler, or even try to respond like Ghost Ogre, they can still just Lycoris in response, right? And then
they can't. The effect will be negated, but it would be protected from Ghost Ogre.
Right, which is what matters. Just being able to summon it again and threaten it again. So that's why the Psalms are so good, but he doesn't have access to those.
Okay, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
I guess does he have the Inspector Border?
Yes, he does. That's
that
a popular card.
Is traditionally good against Trickstars. It won't stop continuous effects, but it will stop all the searching and other shenanigans, and none of the trick stars are big enough to beat it.
Yeah.
I don't know that Ching has any removal available to him, other than mind control out of the side. Book of Moon.
It's interesting that we're going over what we said before, just in a different way. That yeah, both of those decks, they're struggling for the things that they're struggling for. You know? The Trickstar deck really doesn't have much control, and the Sky Striker deck are just struggling to not take that much damage or even just get going as soon as possible.
Yeah, the neat thing with Trickstar, it's a very cooperative deck. It is totally okay with letting you do whatever you want.
Yes.
But bad things are going to happen to you when you do.
Yeah. That game would have been very different if Jung had any sort of start, right?
Yes.
Like how he grinded it out and how everything wound up working out. If he had any Ray at several points during that game.
He had a Ray in his opening game.
Right, but it got reincarnation away,
He had an opportunity at the start of the main phase, though, to actually just play it. So remember, at the start of the main phase, you can take any action common to the main phase.
You're right.
And he did not use that reincarnation in the draw or standby phase. He used it when
he chose to play Twin Twister.
Right, so that might have been a small misstep by Jung.
Yeah.
He could have at least gotten a monster onto the field there.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that situation crops up again.
Yeah, I guess I think it's sort of darned if you do, darned if you don't, right? Because if the other cards, like something like Solemn Warning, I guess there's only a couple cards, though, that would matter there, right?
Yeah.
Like just really Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment.
Yeah, I guess you have to weigh it up. You got to weigh it up.
Right, and like Solemn Judgment, maybe...
It goes.
No, you probably don't Solemn Judgment the Twin Twister anyway, though. Excuse me? Oh, yeah, putting it in the graveyard helps, yeah.
So you could get Hornet Drones and eventually get her back.
Yeah. I mean, but if you have the Hornet Drones anyway, I think it's just getting the monster on the field that matters, right?
Yeah.
So like the Hornet Drones is going to do that alone.
Yeah.
But you're right that he might have messed up a little. I don't know. It's rough either way.
It's a hard choice. I do think he's going to be on the Inspector Borders for this time around. I think since he's going to go first, obviously, that's probably where he's going.
Yeah.
To try to get a little payback.
Oh yeah. Book of Moon doesn't even out, right? Because he can just respond with Ray's effect actually. So it's really just Solemn Warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Solemn Judgment, I guess.
Wasn't necessarily like a correct one there. There wasn't a correct decision to do it or not. I think it was like a decision that he chose to make. But with perfect information, you would be able to work out the percentage chance of it being good to summon her first or not. I think that's the thing.
You have a lot of information there, though. Like, reincarnation is there, and you get one play unfettered by it if you get to the main phase.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was a small misstep. A very, very small one, but it looked like it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess my natural reaction when I see a Twin Twisters and 2 back rows is like, yeah, I get to gun for these 2 back rows straight away, and then I get to do everything else unimpeded. That's
I think that's
your logic
exactly what happened
in your head.
That trap.
Yeah.
Pulled the trigger a little too soon.
It's the knowledge of the reincarnation, I think, that really gets you there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you'd been able to reel that in a bit of the being able to really play Twin Twisters so it's full effect and think, hold on, this is going to go bad in the way that I do this, then yeah, he could have potentially summoned Ray first.
Well, it looks like they have made their decisions, at least, as pertaining to side decking. They're going to finish up shuffling, but we'll get to that a little shortly. So Ching is going second, most likely, in this game. I think he might put the extra Cyber Dragon in. Cyber Dragon, maybe the Heavy Storm Dusters get extra spell and trap removal.
Yeah, Heavy Storm Dusters is definitely great. Shared Ride's definitely great. Mind Control seems good. Same thing with like Evenly Matched. He has a lot of cards for this matchup, actually. Yeah, I don't even need to list them all. He could side in over half of his side deck and probably just be in a better spot than he is now, even though right now he's still great.
And you're saying that he lost to Sky Striker earlier in the event?
Yeah.
Do we know
just
who
one.
it was? Who he played? Maybe
No, I
could
find out. It would take me a bit of time, but yeah, it's just one. Do you think Young's going to go first here? And I do. Go first.
I think he's going to Inspector Borders and just try to get that on the field early on.
Yeah, and he's got you said he had an extra few trap cards as well. In there.
Extra. Oh, Young?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Just for that Inspector Border then.
He's got Typhoon. I mean, that's a trap card. Theoretically, put in even more spell and trap removal.
Yeah, good for Light Stage.
To get Light Stage out of the way.
Yeah. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either.
No.
It might be better than Evenly Matched, though. Cards like that. He's just going to be looking at the cards that are suboptimal in his main deck and probably swapping those out because there's no ideal cards in his side deck.
Yeah.
So it's a case of any incremental advantage you can get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to put in the cards that are going to be great blowouts, but just really optimize as much as he can.
And it looks like we've seen something of a surprise here. Either Young passed his first turn, or he let Ching go first.
And yeah, in Young's hand, I see 4 spells and then Ghost Ogre but I don't know what the 4 spells are.
Interesting. Very interesting there. I wonder... So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Ching has... Yeah, he let Ching go first.
Yeah,
Because it's light stage and 4 other cards is what his start was.
Maybe his plan is just hopefully evenly match him.
I don't know that he would fall for that, especially after seeing that in the first game.
Yeah, I'm just unsure why else he would. Maybe this is how he thinks he can grind out the Trickstar deck.
Yeah.
With cards like, you know, Jamming Waves, Afterburner, stuff like that. Plays a couple spells, then starts getting the +1 effects off of them.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
I think we're all a little shocked about
a little
that.
bit.
Maybe he didn't put the Inspector Borders in then.
Or maybe he's just going hard on the evenly matched, and
Yeah.
Ching's playing it right into it.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have the evenly matched, not from what I could see. There's a lot of green in his hand.
Is that a Twin Twister in there somewhere?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, there was Jamming Waves, Afterburner. Yeah, can't see the rest.
It kind of looks like Ching's playing directly into what Young wants him to do.
Start with Afterburners. It looks like he's just going to try to start bending some spells so that his engages and stuff get to draw him extra cards.
Thing is, though, this Trickstar deck, just as we were talking about, the Candina's back in the safe place. She's in the hand. She's ready to, you know, be played next turn.
Yeah, I just don't think Jamming Waves is that good. Or I don't think Afterburners is that good in this matchup, and I think that's part of the issue. It's only going to be better in the later stage of the game, and you'd rather draw 1 card off of Engage than destroy an extra card off of Afterburners.
And he loses Heavy Storm Duster there to the Jamming Waves.
That's big.
Sets a card and says... Does not say go. Activates multi-roll. Okay.
Does Ching have something for this?
Yeah, a second Heavy Storm Duster would be devastating. That's very fortunate if you manage to hit the only one there. But he goes ahead and flips Gozen Match. So a bit of good fortune for Jung, as he does have Twin Twister to take out everything else.
Yeah, but a second copy of Heavy Storm Duster here would just...
that would be a great blowout, yeah.
But
his
it's
last card is Engage.
Oh. Ash Blossom!
Wow!
Oh my goodness!
And we're right down to the Candina. That's all that's left.
I guess you can play directly into everything your opponent wants to do if you have all the answers.
Yeah.
Wow.
My goodness.
That was
incredible.
Yeah.
My
wow.
Goodness. And I think Jung can't believe it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest though, Ching had a lot of different things that those back rows could have been, and to like, you know, that could have been Heavy Storm Duster, but he had the Ash that was needed for the Engage.
It's rough because you feel good when you hit the Heavy Storm Duster.
Yeah.
Like that's what you were looking for.
And it just didn't matter in the end. So now Young's left with just multi-roll, and Ching's got a Candina and the rest.
And a light stage. Whatever he gets back doesn't matter.
That's rough.
I don't see any way he gets out of this.
He just passes. Oh, wow. That is rough. Now we see why this Trickstar deck has been doing really well, though.
They're good cards.
Yeah.
They are certainly good cards. And now Ching is doing the math to see if he can finish him off right now.
Yeah. Why wait till later when you can win now?
Yep, and that reincarnation really helps.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what actually will allow it.
Yeah.
As he still has Lilybell in the deck. So he could normal summon Candina, get Lilybell, special summon Lilybell, make a link summon with Lilybell and probably Lycoris.
Yeah.
And then after attacking with everything, he Trickstar reincarnations back the Lilybell, attacks to get back the Lycoris, and special summons the Lycoris and attacks again.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And with Light Stage, adding an extra 200 to all of them.
Yes. Especially so if the monster he picks is Holly Angel.
Yes.
So he would also get an extra 400 damage off of summoning back with, well, both summoning back with Trickstar reincarnation and summoning Lycoris.
Yeah.
I do think he has it as long as he sees the play.
Yeah, well, he's doing well so far. He's got that Lilybell.
Lilybell attacks directly, gets you a Trickstar monster back from the graveyard when she connects.
Blue Angel will be proud of this one.
those Submarine-roid type cards. Like, I heard the Duel Links guys talking quite a bit about Submarine-roid for game.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of what Lilybell is. She's a Submarine-roid that special summons from your hand and, you know, has upside.
Yeah.
She's a really good monster.
That matchup in Duel Links is actually really interesting because the only reason they're playing Submarine Roid is to fulfill the legendary deck requirements of Cyrus Truesdale.
For the Roids?
Yes. It's not actually part of the deck. It doesn't work with the rest of the cards, really.
Crazy
well, it works with Ties of the Brethren.
Yes.
Like, that's the big reason to play that deck.
Those machines. Like, the thing is, you know, the Roids aren't bad cards.
No.
The Roids have a lot of really good cards.
Yeah. In fact, Drill Roid was meta at one point, a long time ago.
It was indeed. I remember Kevin was telling me at one point about how back in the old days they had a GX character league in the office when, this was long before I started working on Yu-Gi-Oh! I was still judging and playing back then. And we see Holly Angel there. I think he does see the play. But everybody else picked Cyber Dragon, and he picked Roids and just destroyed everybody.
So as we said, Ching with this play, doing the 400 damage, the 200 damage. I mean, he's just communicating the math here. I think he's already done.
And you don't attack with Holly Angel quite yet because she's gaining attack points each time.
Exactly. From the Lilybell and then hopefully from the Lycoris as well.
And we see he's making note of how many 200s it's gained. So it's 200 for each Trickstar monster that's special summoned to his own points to. Does that much damage, and whenever Trickstar monster inflicts effect damage, not battle damage, effect damage, she then gains that much attack. And that includes herself. So they're working that right now. You see he's got the 400 deducted.
Yeah. So this is the situation I was talking about yesterday with the translators, where we've got to go from Korean to Japanese to English to Mandarin and then all the way back through again. And
Young does not have a hand, correct? There's nothing.
There's nothing.
There's nothing like that. It's just over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's doing his due diligence.
Right.
Yeah. But you know, this is the players have made it this far. They deserve to make sure that this is definitely enough.
Yeah. If there's any chance that it's not, you want to
know about it. Yeah. This is the time to know about it.
All right, and it seems that we are good on that. And the Holly Angel it's mandatory. Like, you have to activate it every time it happens. So there's no way to miss it. There's no, oh, you didn't declare this. There's nothing like that. And she's just going to keep getting bigger.
Yeah, there's not. That's the beauty of the Trickstars. There's not a lot to miss. A lot of them are all continuous or, you know, mandatory triggers.
So Lilybell hits for 800. Light Stage adds an extra 200 onto that for 1,000. Because she did battle damage, Trickstar Lycoris returns to Ching's hand. Then, Candina hits for 1,800, and 200 is added onto that by Light Stage. So 2,000 there is 46 left. And next, we get a special summon. So Lycoris is special summoned, and Lilybell is returned to the hand. That's another 400 damage.
And Holy Angel's effect triggers once more.
Should be 4,200. So then Lycoris hits for 16, plus another 200 from Light Stage is 1,800 added on.
I think Ching's doing really well to keep his composure here, because I think he knows he's got it.
1,800 off of 42. Well, that's 2,400. And it just so happens that that is exactly what Trickstar Holly Angel's attack is right now. And with those extra 2,400 attack points intact, that is exactly what Ching needs to take a win.
Yep, Jung extends the hand, and that's it.
So Ching Wang Chia from Taiwan is going to go to the World Championship Finals.
Yeah,
and that was a heck of a match. That's kind of how you expect that to play out after you've played the match a lot. So I was a little, like when you said, oh, he lost to it before in the tournament, it's like, really? It seems so far in favor for him.
Yeah, exactly. But as you said, with a small pool of matches, so that 0% win rate's going to shoot right up to 50 now. So, yeah, there we go. we've got our first finalist.
So we, I don't believe we have information yet on our other semifinal.
No, not yet.
But we can tell you a little bit about what that match is. That is Bohdan Temnik from Australia with Altergeist against Francesco Simoncelli from Italy on Goki.
Yep.
And in general, one of the reasons you play Altergeist is because it's got a good Goki matchup.
Yeah.
So if we were to just predict without actually seeing the game what would happen, I would think that Bohdan and his Altergeist deck would win. But Goki's a very explosive deck. There's a lot of things that can happen and go wrong when you're playing against Goki. So it's anybody's game, really.
Yeah, it's really rough. I'm more interested. I would be very interested to see the finals of Altergeist against Trickstar, just because how both decks are built. They definitely have some interesting interactions. Like we saw yesterday, Bohdan Temnik played Mind Crush.
Yes.
Right? And that seems like a great card against Trickstar. One of the few ways you can start the whole Candina chain. Yeah, I'm really excited to find out who won on the other side of the bracket.
So far in the World Championships, we've had 19 games between Altergeist and Goki.
Yes.
And the matchup is 68% favored to the Altergeist player. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's
almost 70% chance of the Altergeist player winning.
That's really big. That's abnormally
big.
That's
huge, yeah.
Yes.
You'd expect it to be more 60-40.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a decent number of games as well.
It is.
So that's important.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with just all these Altergeist decks are built to target Goki.
Yes.
Right, that's it. They're all playing a ton of hand traps, just like we saw in the Trickstar deck or the Sky Striker deck. They're all teched out to beat Goki. Goki had the biggest target on its head this weekend, with Altergeist maybe coming in second in that people were hedging against it with cards like Unending Nightmare, Twin Twisters, Evenly Matched, etc. Yeah. So it's going to be rough.
The thing that I think might be rough for Jing if he comes up against Bohdan is a lot of these hand trap monsters aren't very good against Altergeist.
Yeah, that's a big
Droll and Lockbird in particular, not great. Ghost Ogre's pretty good. There are some things you can hit there.
Yeah, Ash is fine.
Ash is fine.
Ash is probably the best one, actually.
I think that's going to be phenomenal finals if we see
those.
If
we get that.
It's going to be pure skill to be able to play your deck in a completely different way to how you kind of built it in the first place. That's going to be a real good one to watch.
So coming up later today, we're going to have the third and fourth place match for the All Ages event, and that's probably when we're going to find out, who the winner of the other one was. Because whoever it is not will be playing in our next match against. The name escaped me for a second there. Our Sky Striker player.
Oh,
in this duel, Young. Yes.
Yeah. Interestingly, so to extrapolate further about that match that we're wondering about, so the Altergeist match against Pure Trickstars is a 0% win rate.
Interesting.
And there's been 2 matches so far. So, Ching has played against 2 Altergeist players and won both.
That does correlate with generally how it goes in the regular TCG format.
Yeah.
Between Trickstars or Trickstar Sky Striker and Altergeist. That's kind of why Altergeist wasn't really a player, especially in the World Championship qualifiers this year. So we'll see if that happens, if it happens. But I would not count Simoncelli out. I would never count Goki out. As long as it's in the tournament, it can still just devastate you when you're least expecting it.
Yeah. Right, well, so that's it for the semifinals. Stick around, because we're going to be right back with more action from the World Championships here in Japan.